This is my most recent work from Iraq.
This one is amazing.
Photojournalism is an extremely competitive career. It's very difficult to get started. I remember an editor told me when I first started getting into the business that you had to prepare about 5 years of continuous working before you can expect to have images regularly published, and you should budget about 10 years before you can make a good living.
So much pain for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line, you know? It's always the people on the ground that have to live through the pain, not the people who make the decisions, you know? And that's, you know, very much what I want to show here. I think if any region shows the lasting effects of conflict, it's here.
I'm thinking about going to Siderat, an Israeli border village. It gets rocketed frequently.
Qassam rockets.
Uh-huh.
In a good day, you can do like very nice story there. It depends how many Qassam will fall down and where. If it's in the city, it's very easy to work. You just have to stay near the ambulance area and to follow them. Then you know everything.
And refugee camps?
It's sad, but it's make good images. If you connected very good in Gaza, it can help you. You need a driver, you need a fixer, you need this, you need that.
Right.
Don't be on the line of the bullets. With the Hamas government, I believe it's a little bit dangerous these days.
I'm not looking to get kidnapped.
At the end of the day, for myself, I see enough blood.
Yeah.
Like I see too much blood. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Save yourself, huh?
Thank you.
I look forward to see your work.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure meeting
I really
you, sir.
appreciate it.
Later on In Harm's Way, Zoriah's return to the front lines almost cost him his life. And coming up, Alissa is taken to a secret location by armed militants. Zoriah and Alissa have successfully made it into Israel, and both have made good editorial contacts in Jerusalem. The conflict Zoriah caught in the West Bank village of Nalim produced some good images, despite his being gassed. But things are about to get really dicey for the both of them as they head into a hotly contested, Palestinian-controlled, 30-mile stretch of land in southern Israel known as the Gaza Strip.
Today we're in Gaza City in the beach camp, which is one of the world's longest standing refugee camps. People here living in very poor conditions. People cook outside. Kids usually are too poor to go to school. It's a very difficult life for these people. I think one of the difficult things about Gaza is it's a country that's walled inside. It's in a lot of ways similar to a prison camp. These people don't have options. They don't have the ability to just go out and find a job. They don't have the ability to just go to the store and buy food or take out a loan. They're really stuck and really dependent on other people in the international community to survive. It's a very difficult position, I would imagine, to be in. Right now I'm looking at martyr posters. These people were all killed in the fight against the Israeli Defense Forces. You see them posing with machine guns, rocket launchers. When someone dies here in the fight against Israel, it's considered an honor for their family. So we see posters like this all around town.
So this is Khan Yunis refugee camp, home to about 25,000 refugees. My best stories come to me by being open, not having an agenda, walking through the camp and discovering what comes to me. Assalamu alaikum.
The Israeli attack caused these 3 of my children injured.
Populations want to be heard. They want their story to be told. I'm photographing one of the old settlement walls. This is a pathway for Israeli tanks. And they cleared this area so that Gazans couldn't send rockets over the wall into their settlement. Assalamu alaikum.
To my left is Egypt. There used to be a border line that runs just several feet away. It was blown down when Hamas came into power. When suicide bombers detonated themselves in Israel, Israeli tanks would come down this strip and fire at these buildings. This is a Palestinian apartment building. It's still inhabited by many families. It's just riddled with bullet holes. Israel would bring its tanks and weapons in and fire directly on these houses. These attacks are usually retaliatory attacks after a suicide bombing. They show how broad the revenge is. People still live in this building. You can see their curtains. There's practically no walls left, but they still have laundry hanging. It never ceases to amaze me what people live through and continue to live in. To me, this is the most important side of conflict, is how everyday people are affected and how their lives are changed forever by what goes on around them. Visiting El Wafa Hospital in Gaza City is something I did 2 years ago, and I wanted to return. This hospital is located right across from the Israeli border, and not only does it take care of a lot of patients that are injured in fighting, it also gets hit by the Israeli fire often. I met a young man who was a triple amputee. He was injured 4 months ago when he was walking home from school, and a missile landed near him. They had to amputate his right and left leg, one of his arms, and his other arm has 2.5 fingers left on it. And he's struggling to learn how to live and to pick up the pieces. And he was kind enough to let me photograph him, which I'm sure is not comfortable. I think one of the reasons is he needs prosthetics. He needs a way to walk, he needs a way to use one of his hands, and he feels that my pictures might bring light on his situation and might help him. I think a lot of war photographers only go for the action shots and only go for the chaos and the blood. But there's different ways of telling stories that are just as powerful. The fighting lasts a few minutes, but the rest of his life has changed. It's not just the dropping of a bomb, it's altering people's lives. It's altering his family's life, who will have to care for him for as long as they live. It's very difficult. And they do this every time he needs to go to the hospital. He has physical therapy almost every day. The family has sacrificed everything to help, their brother, their son get through this attack. Is it possible to see how your brother helps you? I think a lot of people would argue about my job. Does it change anything? Does it do anything? But I believe it can. I believe if people really understand and know the hardships people go through in war zones and what it's like for them, there's no way you can see that and not be affected by it.
Been invited to a training by Islamic Jihad. They're showing some of the strength of their weapons. RPGs, 50 cals. We're in a field. We've been told not to photograph any of the surrounding buildings, anything that would be identifiable to any of the other militant groups in the area. Work does take me to dangerous areas. I have been in situations where I've felt a little bit nervous. I don't feel like photojournalists are a target, but sometimes you're embedded with a group that is a target, hence making you a target. As a photojournalist, I often work alone, but there are definitely events that multiple journalists are there, and there's a community.
Get anything good?
Got some stuff. How about you? We all know that we're on the same team.